Hi.
Hello.
Good morning.
Oh my God. I wasn't even paying attention to what you're doing. I'm looking at it now and I'm like, what is it? You get a nose job? What's going on over there?
Yeah, he's just had one,
Okay.
and we got
in recovery mode.
He's in recovery mode, so we got to keep the bandages on.
Oh
We can work on other parts of him, but the nose job we must.
I'm picking
must
up what
remain
you're putting down.
Yeah.
A little rough.
He's not his best day.
Little rough over there.
Hello, everyone. Paint Liquor, Ghost Hunter, Vector,
Good
Dipolar Street.
afternoon.
Huzzah, huzzah! I'll just throw back my legs and pollute
I threw
my
that one in
britches
there
with
just for
delight.
you.
It is a good afternoon. It is no longer morning.
I mean, do we know that he performed the rhinoplasty? We don't know. I don't think we saw that.
Yeah.
Is that what nose job is? Rhinoplasty?
Yeah.
Well, it's one of the various different things you can do.
What
with
is that?
those. I believe the rhinoplasty is where it readjusts the bridge of your nose. I think.
Oh, I thought that it just was a blanket term.
It might be, but I'm pretty sure that there are variations therein. Mostly because I know that doctors like to have fancy words for things. And rhinoplasty,
They like to have fancy
not,
words for
not
things.
the fanciest thing.
Those damn doctors and their fancy words.
Those damn doctors and their fancy words is right.
How's everybody doing? How's the weekend?
I had a delightful weekend. It was very tasty.
Dare you say delightful?
It was delightful.
Papa
I went-
Chicken found the Noosh Gunslinger and Sagittaire stream from August 22nd. And I had lots of things to say about it.
Oh man, I found the Noosh Gunslinger in Sagittarius Stream. Great lessons were taught. Proper priming, how thinning for opacity versus viscosity works at a microscopic level. Brush handling techniques to keep a synthetic brush from curling. Teaching Baby J what is going on. Going in one cheek means.
Gotta go in with both cheeks, baby J. Can't one cheek it.
Well, you can try sometimes. Demonstrating Noosh on Stompy robots. I join all of a sudden. It turns into inappropriate jokes about rattle can primers.
Wait a minute.
I didn't realize that we were using Noosh that long ago.
Yeah. We'd been testing it a lot longer than a lot of our products. Just because it was so revolutionary.
Yeah, so different.
Hello, Avian.
Avian's here at the beginning of stream. That's exciting. Welcome.
No way.
Well, huzzah, huzzah! I'll just
Bald
throw
Guy
back
is
my
like the
legs
main
and
character in
pollute
that
my
movie,
britches with
Darkman.
delight.
A tomato, thank you.
Yeah, Dark Man.
31
right.
months, you
You'll
don't
be
have
burned or
problems.
You've got Brian here.
Papa Chicken wants to know, Jason, if you ever got a win in Noita. Talking about it on August 20th.
Oh, yeah.
Many wins have been had.
Yep.
Jason's
I
a
beat
professional.
my what was the one I was going for on that one? 13 or 11 orbs or 13 orbs. I don't remember how many orbs I was going for on that run, but yeah, I got it. I'm trying to do, well, I say I'm trying. I'm not actively playing Noita at the moment. I'm in a full-on Dark Souls, preparing for Elden Ring launch
Oh my god, that
DLC
is
this
like,
weekend.
Is it really this weekend?
It's this weekend.
No, it's not.
21st, yep.
My weekend just got so much better. Oh my gosh. I need to like play it this week in preparation
I've
for.
been running a complete new character through. I've never done a pure sorcery build, so I'm doing a sorcery build.
Oh, how's that going?
It's a lot different playing it. Jen's heard me bang the desk a couple times. She came in yesterday and said, "Everything okay?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm just mad." Well, I say effing game quite often playing Sorcery Build. It is not like
quite the same.
Sword and Board.
Yeah, because what did you play on your last one?
I always do some sort of sword and board, either a dex, strength, or strength in something like that. Something where I'm swinging a sword all the time. But yes, I did do the Noida thing. It was good.
Yeah, you went through a pretty long stretch of playing Noida like all the time.
I have a mad respect for people who stream that game and do challenge after challenge after challenge, because the amount of time it takes to get a challenge in the books in Noida is ridiculous. So
Jordan, what are you doing?
I am readjusting the.
he doesn't know. He's painting over it.
No, yeah.
He's just painting over it.
I'm airbrushing over it so he gets smoother. Huh?
It had the cool orange and hot pink.
I'm bringing that back. That will be coming back 100%.
Okay,
Yeah. Yep. I'm just rebuilding it up.
gotcha.
Don't worry. I promise you it's coming back.
Video game archaeologist said, I asked on Discord but never got a response. I ordered some Vallejo chipping medium. Will that work okay with Pro Acryl paints, or is there a brand more recommended?
No, you can use the chipping medium with our paints. Anything acrylic usually will work very well.
Papa Chicken, no. Never happened.
How's the Doge?
You good?
She's good.
She good?
Yeah.
Good, been good doggo. Training's going well, hopefully.
Yeah, pretty
Going
well.
well for her.
Going well for her. Lots of treats. Did Jason ever paint his zombie My Little Pony? Is that a thing?
No. Takes a lot of sculpting work that I didn't invest into it.
Let's go. Building this up a little slower this time. With orange over.
What are you talking about, game delay?
Avian said, how many seconds do you think I will last on the first boss of Elden Ring? Game Delay said, if you're like me, about 20, but it will feel a lot longer.
Well, the first boss is technically the Soldier of Godric. Well, I guess technically no. It's even before that. The whatever it's called.
The horse thing?
The spider
Oh.
mutant grafted thing, right? That you're supposed to die to get taken out into the world.
Oh, the very first thing.
Yeah. Like you literally walk in and fight a boss in Elden
Yeah, you're
Ring.
supposed to die.
But that's the way the Souls games are.
Yeah, it's like that in basically every game, right? They have something like
not
that?
that quick, but yes. Yeah, a lot of them will throw a big beastie at you immediately, and then later in the game you'll go back and kick its butt. And there will invariably be all the message signs on the ground talking about sweet revenge, because it like wiped you out as soon as you were brand new.
Message signs are so funny in that game.
Oh my god. Trying to go back and play it right now, they're all a bunch of adolescent teenagers that use the word butt, rump, and hole in very creative ways.
Avian has a follow-up question on chipping. Is there a video on it by Monument?
Not that I know of.
We've done a lot, but not in years. I typically will paint chips on rather than using the chipping mediums nowadays. Back when we were selling some products like that. We use the Vallejo chipping medium quite often on models, tanks and stuff. But it's been years since I have really done anything like that. I will always just hand do it now. The key is that the longer you let the chipping medium sit on the model before doing the water removal, the
Can't really
smaller the chips
See
will
what
be.
you're doing.
Right? So you'll need to make sure if you want big, chunky chips that you do those areas quickly, and then you can let it sit and come back and do more later when the chips will be smaller. Because the more that stuff cures on the model, the harder it is to take the paint away. Does that make sense? That's really the only thing you need to know. You can take the time to just put it in the areas where you know you're going to chip, or be like me and just put it on the whole model.
Ryan Mara said, question, what is the best way to use your paint via airbrush? Put it in and spray it.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
What Jordan's doing right this minute.
Yep.
Put it in the airbrush, spray it.
Yep.
You can thin it however you like, but for like base coats and things, you can just put it straight out of the bottle into the airbrush in most cases. Some of our paints don't work as well as others. Some of them are going to be a little bit more viscous. Obviously, the heavy-bodied whites, the heavy warm white, heavy titanium white, you're going to want to avoid airbrushing with those without thinning the crud out of them. But for base coats, we'll typically just put it in the airbrush and go. Then as I start to layer more color, I'll start to thin more.
Yeah, we definitely mentioned before, like, if you're doing a large volume of models at one time, thinning it will help a lot. You get a lot more distance out of the paint that you're using.
Back to the chipping, if you're going to do it by painting it, do you have any tips to randomizing it? Or is it a case of this is the most likely area that said chip will occur?
Well, if you think about it, chipping is going to happen where there's physical contact with something else. So edges of metal panels are always a big area that you can look at. If the thing that you're painting is getting shot at a lot, there might be chips in the middle of flat areas where bullets have kind of pinged off or debris hit, things like that. But the easy one is kind of on the edges. But the nice thing with chipping, unless you're doing something very specific and going for a realistic approach, you can just kind of do it willy-nilly. Start small, build up. Don't go ham at the very beginning. Is the biggest piece of advice I can give you.
You were about to ask about T. Schmidt's question. Yeah, T. Schmidt, it is... I started with... kind of evening out the base color with dark magenta over the colors that I'd done before. But if you started with a base color of orange red over black, you'll get something really similar. And then I built up the orange red to orange, and then to golden yellow. And then I'm mixing a touch of pale yellow into the golden yellow to give me a little bit more of a kind of bright pinpoint highlight here. I would say I'm trying to go for about a 4-to-1 mix on the golden yellow to the pale yellow ratio so that it feels more saturated. Because when you mix in that pale yellow, it's going to really knock back that yellow feel, especially the orangey yellow feel. So this is a great workup for any sort of orange that you want to do. Pick out some areas here. Kind of want to go for that like sunrise, sunset sort of feel. We have some really amazing colors for replicating this sort of effect.
Hello, Jade.
Hey, Jade.
How's it going? How many? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
This guy's really disgusting.
Very true.
Now that I'm getting into painting individual folds of flesh, like I can
Jade,
hear
I
this
hear
guy
you.
as he moves in his armor. It makes a sloshing sound.
Sapo, hello. Is there a winner of the giveaway being announced on stream today?
We have to talk to Gabe. I don't think he has a plan to announce it today. Gabe, are you trying to pick a winner today?
Like you said, it was going to be announced today.
I have not been let know about that, but it doesn't mean we couldn't. Probably shoot for tomorrow. But yes, the giveaway for the Age of Angra stuff got finished up.
Multiple places he's saying it's announced today.
What's that?
He said multiple times that it would be announced today.
Then where is he?
I don't know.
Hey, Gabe! When are you announcing a winner? He says, thanks for reminding him. He's doing it
Thanks
now.
for the reminder. Tomorrow is a certain mead-making nerd's birthday.
What?
Mmm.
Who's going to make him cake?
That's a good question.
Or bread or cookies or whatever is
His birthday
his
preferences?
specialty. Well, his baking specialty.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if you're the baker, do you just make your own?
Yeah, probably.
Or
You're
is
the
it the
baker,
thought
maybe
that
you
counts
don't
and you
want
let
it.
somebody else do it? I don't know.
Charles the Mead Fellow. Oh,
I make a mean carrot cake.
mean carrot cake.
Fair enough.
Yeah, you can't live together without some of that being like, hey, guess what?
Yeah,
Well, his-
both ways.
I mean, you'll be making me a cake?
I didn't get one.
Where's
I
where's
offered
mine?
one. I have the stuff at home. I can make it tonight.
Are you offering a trade?
Ooh.
But you just have carrot cake ingredients just hanging out?
Not carrot cake, but
Oh,
the
okay.
cake that he likes. I
Oh.
have because I bought them to make for his birthday, and then he told me he didn't want it.
What? He didn't want it?
I mean, it would have been special on the day.
That is.
No, I don't know what it was. She wasn't supposed to be home from her. She wound up getting home earlier.
Oh.
But she wasn't supposed to be home until that Sunday. So
Oh, okay.
I was like, if you've been out and then back, why spend the entire time? Because then you got to go back to work. So don't worry about baking a cake. I said we could do it some other time. I honestly don't care about at the time of birthday stuff anymore. I'm not blowing out candles and having my friends over for game day, so it don't matter.
I feel the same. It's nice to be able to visit with family close to that period of time, because usually it's pretty well timed with Gen Con. So it was pretty neat.
Game delay, that is not at all what I said. I like carrot cake, and I'm sure Jason likes it too. Neither one of us would say a carrot cake is bad.
Dude, carrot cake with a good cream cheese icing, tops. Tops.
See if I can zoom
Papa
in
Chicken
touch.
said, do you have any advice on making regular Pro Acryl paints behave more like the transparent line or more like a contrast paint does through an airbrush?
Glazed wash medium.
Mm-hmm.
That's what our glazed wash medium is built for. Doing exactly that. Turns any one of our colors into more of a contrast or speed paint. Works a champ.
Hi, Jabe.
Hi.
Is this still not working? No, that's what.
What's
it
that?
was the other day when Shannon was in, I was trying to get it to
The
turn
TV?
on, and I don't know
Christopher,
what happened to it.
did you steal the HDMI from the TV?
That sounds like a yes. I mean,
Yes.
it didn't just walk off, did it? Did you steal it for the conference room, good?
Christopher stole it for the conference. Just it's right here. It's right here. I found it. In the bundle. I don't know how we got it. Blame Chris.
I still blame Chris.
Christopher's still to blame.
I don't know which side you are.
No, not
Well, they're both off right now, so
Hello.
that one.
That
Okay.
one?
Yep.
Yeah. Chris, you unplugged the TV.
no idea.
It's your fault.
How do you?
So
How
chat,
do you
we're hiring.
survive? How do you survive over there in your office
Chat,
with
we're
these
hiring.
knuckleheads next to you?
Chat, we're hiring.
Papa Chicken, I used to get a Baskin Robbins mint chocolate chip ice cream cake every year for my birthday when I was a kid. Well into my teenage years, maybe even into adulthood.
The
It's a
ice cream
tradition.
cake? What flavor? Do I know this?
I just said it.
I'm deaf in that ear.
Are you guys ready? I don't know if you're ready.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Jen, also, I told you I'd bring it back to those wonderful colors that you were talking about. I'm bringing it back.
Getting there.
Yeah.
You're bringing it back.
Not as much pink.
A lot of orange.
Yeah.
It's like a good Arizona sunset. That's what you got going on
It's
right
kind of
now.
the idea.
Like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
All right. So, for those of you who have been keeping an eye on Discord, we've been running a giveaway for our new game, Age of Angra, that will be coming out soon. And we pulled 5 winners today of said giveaway.
Did we know there was going to be 5?
We knew there would be 5.
Oh.
So, I'm gonna read these off, and hopefully I don't get your name. I don't mispronounce your name.
I do it all the time.
Does it come with wizard's butt? You may have to sweet talk Jason. I don't have authority. I don't have authority on that. Okay. Number 1
Our drum roll is. Oh, it does still work.
is William Higgins.
William Higgins.
William Higgins. If you're in
William
chat,
Higgins.
All 5 are Mike.
heck yeah. If not, I will be sending emails out to everybody. So don't worry. You don't have to be here in chat.
Game Delay even signed back into Facebook to try to win this.
Today you find out if it was worth it.
A big
So William Higgins is number 1.
commitment.
Number 2. Drum roll, please. We have Natasha Young. Natasha?
Natasha?
Tasha, congrats. You've won
Hairdo,
yourself.
You gotta hang out more often.
You have won yourself some Age of Angra.
Been
even
announcing
know
it
there was a
for long
giveaway.
time.
Well, don't worry.
Gotta pay attention to Discord. Gabe announces it like every day.
All right,
Literally every day.
number 3. Drum roll. Nick Michaels.
Nick
Michaels.
Michaels.
Congrats.
Congrats.
Congratulations.
You say Nick?
Nick Michaels.
Oh, okay. I thought you said Lick, and I was very confused.
I want his name now to be Lick Michael.
That's what I was like. That's pretty funny.
Seem real judgy right now about
Congrats.
Nick, I have good and bad news.
Your name has changed.
We have renamed you.
Yeah.
You are now Lick
that.
Michael.
You got stuff to do that doesn't involve winning a game, Hairdo.
All right, number 4. We've got Daniel Carroll.
These are all like real names.
Yes, that's what everyone put their real names.
Oh,
It does ask your first and last name. So if you're in chat and you didn't want people to know your real name, that's okay.
You don't have to
Congrats.
say yay me.
yeah. You don't have to
You
say
don't
it
have
was
to say
you.
anything.
You can be like,
People
don't know
won't
who that is.
Yeah, but
Nick Michael's,
congrats.
never heard of him.
Congrats.
But my name's Game Delay.
All right, you guys ready for the last one?
Last one.
It is Jordan. No, I'm kidding. It's not Jordan.
I was like,
It's Taylor Schmid.
Oh, wait,
T.
what?
Schmid. Yeah,
Well, look at
Schmid.
that.
Schmid. You won yourself some Age of Angra.
We know who that is.
We know that name.
Cheater.
Is he still here?
So, I don't know any of
He
you.
was here
Exactly.
literally
I thought
moments
I
ago.
Knew you guys.
Wait, for reals?
Heck yeah. I know. I was T. Schmidt, I want you to know how excited I was when I hit the button that said award and it gives me 5 random names. And yours was number 5. I'm like, this is gonna be great.
Oh, it didn't make you wait one by one. It just said, here's all the winners.
Yeah.
Lazy
That's cool.
system, but
Well, then I get to do this, you know. So congratulations, everybody.
Yeah, congratulations.
We will be sending those out. I think the plan was this week.
hopefully a couple weeks. Next couple weeks. Oh, we have those.
Yeah,
Those
yeah,
are
we
in-house.
had those.
Yeah.
Oh, we have those are in house.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, they're gonna get them quick.
Yeah, you guys are
Holy
gonna get them
cow.
We
You guys are
have
gonna get 'em.
boxes. for 'em.
early.
If we have boxes for him.
Yes, we do.
We got the shipping boxes.
We have those. We have those boxes that we talked about.
Good.
Yep. Great. Well,
Congrats
everybody.
to the winners.
Keep
For
your
everybody
eyes.
else, I'm sure we'll have more fun. And if not, the game will be releasing
Yep.
here very
Very soon.
soon.
Yes, it
Very,
will.
very soon.
Very, very soon. Keep your eyes peeled for some more info on Age of Angra as we get
Fully
closer to
painted,
release.
yes, fully painted within a month. Everyone who gets it will have it fully painted immediately.
There's, just,
Yeah.
there's nothing. There's nothing to paint.
Why
He's
don't
gonna
we
like
fully
do
paint
full
it?
art cards.
Fully
They
painted.
are already fully painted.
Yeah, the game comes fully painted because
Cool.
it has no miniature.
All right, guys. Have a great rest of your stream.
Thank you, Jabe.
Yes, yes.
Bye, Jabe.
That's it. You're just leaving already.
Yep. Goodbye forever.
Bye, Gabe.
I will never ever see you again.
Never.
Gabe's got lots of stuff to do. Gabe's working on top secret stuff. Got to get a lot done.
All right, Jen. Do you approve of the amount of pink, or do we need more pink?
I mean, you're not asking the right person.
I don't think Jen believes in the too much pink thing
Not
that
enough
you're speaking
pink.
of.
I'm like paint liquor. It's all pink, but no, it looks nice. I like it.
Okay. Making sure.
Got to know who you're dealing with.
I mean, it's not my model, so it doesn't matter what I think.
Well, you can have
I
good
like the
input
sunset
and opinions.
colors. No, I like it. I think it looks good. Papa Chicken said I outed myself as having no idea what Age of Angra is. Yes, you did. What is the pitch?
Game, fun,
Game fun.
cards,
Us.
buy. There you go. 4 words or less. That's marketing 101 right there, baby.
2 players.
Oh yeah,
Can you play with more?
2 players. Nope, it's 2-player
2
game.
players. Cards. There's an app.
It's a tag team fighting game, a la Street Fighter, Tekken Tag, those kind of games. The medium for playing it is cards, so all of the characters are on cards. You, as the player, are a shepherd, magical inclined human being in this world that has been changed by the opening of a, dimensional rift. And these creatures called Asura have come through this rift and are now living amongst the humans. And the shepherds are able to speak with them and work with them, and you fight to determine the outcome of the world after this huge cataclysmic change that's going on, where some of the Asura just want to go home, some want to stay and take over, others want to just hang out with humans, and so it's really cool. It has like battlefield definition states, so different battlefields have different effects. You change those out.
Grumpy Pokemon.
Grumpy Pokemon. Got
It is grumpy Pokemon, basically, yes. In the developer diaries, if you watch the videos, Ben talks about his enjoyment and like for games like Pokemon, but that they didn't grow up with us, right? They stayed the same. We wanted more adult themes, but that same kind of fun. So that's kind of what Age of Angra's leaning is. There are 9 different creature Asura and 4 shepherd classes in the starter box. We have more that we will be releasing over time if people enjoy the game.
Law Dog, I did not make an app.
It is basically a game of combos and things like that, because each Asura has 6 abilities, of which you have to pick 4 when you fight. And they're laid out like a D-pad scheme on your PlayStation or Xbox controller. And each round, it's very quick, lightning fast game once you get the swing of it. And each round, you will put 1 or more of your Asura cooldown or abilities on cooldown and play out the fight that way. It's a lot of fun.
Minis released separate. There are no miniatures.
We will have some collectible style painting miniatures coming, but the game does not require any miniatures to play.
More grown-up themes, so sexy Pokemon.
Okay.
Okay.
Being a grown-up is not only about sexiness, but okay.
Pokemon with bills.
Yeah, it's Pokemon with bills to pay. You gotta make rent in this game.
That's so funny.
You gotta fight, duke it out in order to make enough credits to pay rent.
They have to figure that. I don't know what that other part means. Machamp. Like all Pokemon are Machamp. That doesn't mean anything to me. Pokemon that has to figure out what's for dinner.
Also difficult adult decisions.
Building up real thin layers of the dark magenta now in the shadowed areas.
Figuring out dinner every day, the worst part about being an adult. I don't think it's the worst part. But it is rough.
But nobody warned us about how bad it would be, yes.
Paying bills is
Although
the
I think
worst,
my
dinner
mom
is the
did
second
say from
worst.
time to time, I can't wait until you grow up and have kids of your own so you can see what they hate that you cook. She scared me into not having kids of my own. So,
That's what the word.
'cause I was pretty bad about I don't want to eat that, Mom. That's gross.
I am not a character in the game, no.
Did somebody just ask if you were in Age of Wongra?
Oh, Nick said, do we get to play as Gentastic Unicorn Tamer? Ghost Hunter said, need a Gentastic character so I can say the Lord Commander is my shepherd.
Yes.
I'm not in the game.
That'd be so cool.
Don't even know anything about it.
All the shepherds have got really good synergies because there are basically each round you earn these energy tokens for your shepherd, and those are spent to either cast very, very powerful spells. Like some of the spells on the shepherd cards feel a little busted. They're so powerful. But the energy tokens are your victory condition as well. So at the end of the game, whether the different scenarios that you'll pick, we'll say it's 4 rounds, 6 rounds, until you knock out both the opponent's Asura. Because each player has 2 Asura on the battlefield. One is back, one is forward fighting, and the other one just supports. You can move them in and out, tag in and out. So sometimes you want to cast those spells because they have really big bonuses to them. But by doing so, you're reducing your win condition or your victory points. And so it's always a very good strategic. You're always in it, but I've sat back and rope-a-doped and not spend any of my energy tokens and let the opponent beat up on me until the end, spend them very strategically, jump back on them,
That's what happened to me.
kill them unsuspected, and then take the game away at the end. So
That's what happened to me.
Yeah.
He was teaching me how to play for the first time, and I didn't know what I was doing. Jason certainly did. And I thought I was doing pretty good.
do not be light on your friends.
I thought I was doing pretty great, in fact. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, wait a second, what's happening?
I was
How am I
winning a
dead?
minute. I was winning just a second ago.
Yeah.
I'm pulling a gen. I'm like, I think if I play these cards, I win. There aren't cards to play. All your cards are on the table. Cards are just the vehicle for the game. So, but yeah, it's a very good game. You see what Jen has to put? What does Jen have to put up with?
All the things.
A shepherd is being Jen trying to cope with chat. I mean, you guys make it pretty hard on her.
Time for a touch of purple transparent.
Eridu, 24% humidity. That's like rain.
God,
Yeah. That's,
muggy.
yes.
Sat down for a long airbrushing session this weekend, sneezed some pigment today. Does that count as eating the paint?
Ew.
Yeah, technically.
It counts as you should wear a mask.
Yes. I would recommend doing that.
Technically, yes.
I mixed in just a touch of purple transparent. You can see how thin I'm applying this. Really, really, really thin. Because I want it to be ultra transparent. This is just a mix of dark magenta, water, and glaze and wash medium. And a touch now of transparent purple.
When you say really thin, how are you making it more thin? Glaze, medium, and water, or just water?
So remember, there's a couple of things that you're controlling when you're making a glaze. You're controlling the transparency of the paint, and you're controlling the opacity, right?
Those are the same thing. Viscosity.
I'm sorry, viscosity. Thank you. I got stuck in my head there for a second. So viscosity and transparency. The tricky thing is, you use too much water, you will get the transparency that you're looking for at the expense of viscosity. So, what you can do is you can add glaze and wash medium to add more transparency to the mixture without lowering or changing your viscosity. So you can start from a more transparent base mixture that you can then add water down to add or to change the viscosity down to something that's much thinner. Now, that can give you a lot of advantages. For one, water can be kind of hard to work with. If you've tried spraying water out of your airbrush onto a model, it doesn't really do what you want it to do. It has a tendency to create all sorts of beads and do spray stuff and do wacky things. So you want a little bit of body to the paint when you're throwing it through an airbrush. So being able to control the viscosity only with water and get the transparency that you're looking with initially with that glaze and wash medium is much better than just trying to thin it with water. This is why inks are not great, because you start from water trying to thin them for transparency or intensity in this case, which is kind of the same thing. And they end up just being more water, and then they tend to break apart and they have more problems. So it gives you more of a paintable transparent layer as opposed to just more water.
Pikmin, Chuck, James, hello. Oh, Miniac put his video out. Of
Yeah.
his-
Oh, the monument video?
I've not seen it.
just said, Miniac video on Patreon about your biz. Just reaffirms why I'm here. So it's on
Oh,
Oh, did he
yeah,
put it
maybe
on
he releases
Patreon?
it for Patreons first, yeah?
Patreon. We haven't seen,
We haven't seen it, we don't know.
but it sounds like he said nice things. So that's good.
That's great.
Awesome.
Turns out he's kind of a cool guy.
That's super awesome.
Clarkatron wants to know if inks work well with the glaze and wash medium.
Yep, should work
And
great.
Papa Chicken, does the airbrush thinner work as a medium or more like just water?
Does an airbrush thinner? I mean, it technically it's a medium because you can add it to paint, right? And it alters the way the paint activates and such. The airbrush thinner is depending on what, because there's not just like one brand, right? Sometimes they're more like our glaze wash medium, although our glaze wash medium is fairly thick. But a lot of times they're meant to lower viscosity so that the paint flows through the airbrush properly. The problem is that anytime you want to change viscosity, meaning you want to make the paint flow better or more like water, I guess is the way to say better is subjective, you're going to reduce opacity at the same time, right? And so if you're trying to take a paint and make it work in an airbrush, right, you just have to be careful to not over thin, because you might have to then layer back up 50 million times in order to get the color you wanted. And sometimes it's not worth the hassle when you could have left it less thin, still sprayed it through the airbrush, maybe not for as long, but gotten what you wanted to do done in one pass. It's like I say, when we paint our base layers around here, we just use the paint straight out of the bottle.
Vector said, when doing a zenithal, do you guys prefer not to use inks? What do you use instead? If
Paint.
so,
Yeah, just paint.
bold
White.
titanium white.
Just paint. We don't use inks for anything.
Yeah,
We don't make them
Yeah.
for a reason. Inks will reactivate. Inks are made to, even acrylic inks do not have enough solids in them in the resin to be secure on three-dimensional models very well. So they're a pain, right? They reactivate. If you get them wet again, they'll move on the model. They'll cause all sorts of issues. They're very vibrant though, but that's why we created our transparent paints. Our transparents give you everything you want from an ink without the hassles.
Yep. But with a lot of other benefits. Great.
Nameless Brian has a Noosh question. If I pre-mix a wash with Noosh, is it as shelf stable as any other paint, provided it's bottled up tight, has a mixing ball, and all that?
That's a good question.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, as long as air won't hit it, it won't evaporate. So you're still talking about paint. I mean, think about it. A bottle of Noosh will sit on the shelf for a long time. Yeah, you should be fine.
I think I'm very happy with where those glasses are. Sunglasses.
Well, huzzah, huzzah! I'll just throw back my legs and pollute my breeches with delight.
He has
Brutal
sunglasses on his
burrito.
crotch.
Thank you for
No,
the
that's
sub.
the paint label. That's
Brutal
the color of the paint.
Burrito just said, just got an email saying I won an Age of Angra, so that's pretty neat.
Fantastic.
Congratulations. We didn't know who was
You
who.
want a copy of the game? Congrats. Thanks for entering, joining us on this journey. Those will all go out probably sometime this week.
Mhm.
You will have it well before the rest of the world.
That's exciting. Excited for everybody to get their hands on it.
Yeah, I'm excited to start seeing what people think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Play our game.
Play our game.
Caleb said I just do my Zenithal with a primer. Sure that works too.
Totally.
Yeah, I mean, we just use our airbrush primer most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
All of the above are good. Just regular paint. Generally, if I'm priming, I'm just doing it with primer because I've already got primer in the brush, but you can switch over to regular paint. Primer is just paint with heavier polyurethane in our case. So you can make it work in all sorts of ways for you. If you like using inks, use inks. I don't like inks as a substrate for other painting, though, so I will always warn against that. Like I said, they'll move around, they'll have a little bit more problem curing into a stable form. They're made for porous surfaces like paper, obviously.
Yeah, once I started using the transparents, never ever needed to use inks ever again.
Papa Chicken, that's actually kind of exactly how it started. Papa Chicken said, how did Monument even get its start? I can't imagine it's something as simple as I wish there was a better mini paint and then off you go.
Yeah,
Exactly what it was.
turns out.
Pretty much that's...
I mean, to be fair, we had already been selling other products. The company didn't start with paint. It actually started with brushes. And it really did come from me having painted over 40 years at the time, and now over 45, 46 years. And always having to fiddle around with paint and the tools. They weren't really made for miniatures. You were buying art supplies that were made for other things and making them work, and it's great. But I'd been painting since, not forever, but I was taught by people that had to like cobble stuff together from like 5 products you could buy and make hundreds out of them. And so I just kind of had that mentality built into me that if something didn't work, you made it work. You added something to it, you changed it, you did whatever, and you got these cool results. But you recognize very quickly that's not a very good way for people who are not coming at it from an art position, who want to, especially in our world, game first, and art is secondary or tertiary, or not even thinking about the fact you got to paint miniatures, but you want to get interested and get going in it. And so started looking at products that would help that process go. And it really was. And the paint came about, like Jen and I were already selling brushes, Jen's brush goop, the brush cleaner, bags, our go bag, the early edition of our go bags. We had a organizational rack system for your desk, a couple of other products. Okay. And then the paint came about literally from painting live on stream one day like this and struggling to use another company's white, and it kept just gumming up in the airbrush. It was spraying inconsistent. In order to get the consistency I needed with airbrush thinner, it wouldn't dry on the model. It was just a real problem. And so we stripped the model live on stream. It was Erebus, no, not Erebus, Eidolon, first captain of the
Emperor's Children?
The Emperor's Children, the model from Forge World, and his white cape. And I took the cape and stripped it live on stream. We reprimed it, and then I made white paint like I would have off stream, and from non-hobby products. And I actually showed during that stream how to make paint. That's the funny part, because we had no commercial sense of it at the time. We were just like, I'm going to show you how to make a good paint from heavy-bodied artist acrylics, very good white pigment, and with a true titanium white, and some other mediums to turn it into a liquid form that would be stable and not have the pigment be milky. Put it in the airbrush, sprayed it, done, looked fantastic, and chat went wild and said, hey, we'll buy that if you bottle it. So Jen and I were like, we'll do a run, and we ordered some bottles off of Amazon, I think it was, and then I mixed it up. We hand poured it into bottles, and they were sold before we could even really do anything. And they were just in a little bitty, I think they were vape liquid bottles back then, and green cap, green like childproof cap, and we would draw a red heart on the side, and SFG, which was Slow-Fuse Gaming at the time. And and then we were off and running, and we couldn't make enough white paint, so eventually we were like, we should probably do this, because I think through doing this I've learned that there is a better way to make paint, and started digging in and looking at it. Found out that just about all the hobby paint in our world is made by what are called coatings companies, which are house paint manufacturers, for lack of a better term, and not art supply manufacturers. And none of them make art supplies. So it was very strange to me when I started digging in, and I started looking and trying to find other companies that could make paint, one of which is the company that had made GWs and makes about 60% of the hobby paints you know of out there. I talked to them on a conference call and went through a bunch of questions that I had, and they didn't give me the choices that I thought I would want for making high-end art paint. And so we just embarked on a journey to figure something out. And then we made Prochrome. So.
Mentioned airbrushes were back. Did they already sell out again? I find that very difficult to believe, so it probably
they're still in stock.
just means they haven't arrived or
Can we? I'm going to solve that right.
Avian has a follow-up on a prior suggestion from Noosh to do plasma coils. Paint the coils the desired color, mix Noosh with bold titanium white, remove excess off the top of the coils, and allow the white to settle in the gaps. Is that it in a nutshell?
Yeah, that would work. 100%. Ooh. Just picked up a bottle of Noosh. Excited to give it a go. Trying it as a streaking grime alternative. If that's what you're trying to get out of it, you will be so happy. Rosa. It will work exactly like you want it to work. And how you are used to applying it, like you would with streaking grime, is exactly how you would apply Noosh. Yeah, Vector, you'd probably want to do the fluorescent coils and then do the white. You could do it that way. I prefer to have my coils be dark on the inside, like this. I showed you guys how to do this on the stream last week. Because for me, the coils themselves are the thing that's hot and emitting the light. So they should be the brightest thing. Whereas if you're doing it the other way, like you're talking about with Noosh, is that you're going to fill all the gaps in here, and it's going to be the internal parts that are creating the glow, and the coils are just ribbing on top.
Papa Chicken, he did show you how to paint plasma on this old sense of humor. Because it can hold that. Yeah.
Also, thank you for the raid.
Welcome in, Raiders.
Luna Bacon.
Thank you.
Ooh. Bacon sounds pretty good. Had some bacon in a while. Around. It's great.
Hello, Captain Mannering's Team Tiny Victories.
So the goal here is we're gonna mask off the lenses that we just did. We're gonna do a little bit of airbrush shading on the skin. And then we'll probably do the mustache and the eyebrows. And then I'll probably redo the gloves. Shade them and highlight them again. And then I'm going to paint the shoes, but I don't know what color I'm going to paint the shoes yet.
Balthorn Ilian said, finally got to use your dark gray primer, and holy crap, that is the smoothest, mattest, and cleanest.
Man, our primer is awesome.
I lost it.
I love how matte our primer is.
Cleanest primer I've ever gotten. On top of that, it holds the paint like a dream. I may need to grab the black and white soon.
Awesome.
Would appreciate that very much.
And for anybody that's asking about airbrushes, give us like 5 or 10 minutes and they should be up.
Teeny recommended that you visit us. Thank you.
Nice.
Tiny Victories.
Thank you so much. Also, hi.
Avian said, just so I get your concept right, because the coils are cooling the gun, the ribbing is going to be hotter?
Well, it depends on whether or not they are cooling, like whether or not they're supposed to be cooling, or if those coils are the thing that are transporting the plasma or generating plasma.
Uh-oh. Did somebody con him into trying to talk tech into a plasma gun?
I don't know. I'm just saying that there are
likes
two
us.
different ways you can do it. You can have the coils themselves be the part that's white hot, or you can have the internal bits be the white hot part that the coils are sitting on top of.
Mike said, I've always thought about the ridges on plasma weapons as the heat sink, thereby cooler than the inner workings. But
Yeah.
that makes sense for what you're describing, George.
Then it is exactly what you're describing. It to be the opposite version of how to do them from this. If they're the heat sinks, then they would not be the hottest part. Because the heat sinks are pulling the heat out of the hot area, which means I guess they could be hotter than the other part, but they wouldn't. I don't know. I don't know. Don't look. I don't have the scientific knowledge to be able to explain to you exactly this, but there are two ways that you can do it, and either way looks really cool. So, depending on your preference, paint it that way.
This is why I don't answer questions like this. I don't know.
I have enough surface level ideas to make a go of it. Once we get past that, I'm either asking Jason or Jason's telling me to go look it up in an encyclopedia somewhere.
I have never once told you to go look at an
I
encyclopedia.
know, that was the joke.
Watt Tomato said I prefer my plasma through a crazy straw.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm trying to figure out a reasonable physics for an imaginary gun to apply paint. Exactly.
I mean, that's not an unreasonable thing to do. It's just difficult.
Think about it and paint it the way you want it to look.
Correct.
And remember that everybody on the planet puts all of the heat discoloration on exhaust pipes at the tip. So don't worry about it.
Jeremiah M.
Yes.
said plasma guns are super real, guys. Paint them suchly. Scientific knowledge of Warhammer. Does a War Machine plasma gun work the same way, or is it reverse?
A what? A War Machine plasma
War
gun?
Machine plasma gun.
War Machine, like, plasma coils are painted this way. Which is probably why I do it this way, to be honest. The coil is the hottest part. You can go look at some old photos of, like, Signar Warcasters is the best way to find good examples of this in, like, War Machine related stuff. If you can find the photos, because the gallery doesn't exist anymore. Which is kind of a shame.
Never know when Jason will say, when I worked for a plasma gun company, we would take the casings off to check the heat.
I mean, you have to understand that plasma as a term is just superheated air,
Yeah.
right? So, you know, I've had a plasma cutter before, but when you see these guys fire a ball of supercharged air out of a gun that has a big crazy straw thing on it, is it technically a plasma gun? Sure. Is it a 40K plasma gun? No. Because they would be streaming something, you know, liquefying it basically so that it was a projectile stream so it would go over distance and eat through and melt stuff. Right?
CPZ will get to your question in just a second.
I actually don't even know how they're depicted in 40K like art. I don't think I've ever like paused to think about that. Oh right, I was gonna airbrush.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy said, I am attempting to approach skin colors with the airbrush. What colors would you recommend for it? Trying to cover a range of dark tones to light tone.
Well, we have all sorts of different colors that you can use. From a starting point, you can start with Shadow Flesh.
Doesn't the end have to be determined first before you start saying what colors to use?
Yes.
Like what kind of flesh? What kind of skin?
My first question was,
Well,
you're saying
yeah.
all sorts of colors. I'm not understanding what the question is. You want to you want to do flesh through the airbrush. Do you have a
Through the
specific
airbrush.
case?
Yeah, what end result are you looking for as far as skin tone? I think is where it has to start.
Yeah, I was gonna cover a range, but we can get a specific, which is probably easier.
Well, because I mean they said a range of dark tones to light tones, but like what if it's an alien? What if it's
Yeah, when I read that, I just
Like this guy.
yeah, when I read that, I just say like traditional skin tone from like dark colors to bright colors. So we'll get some clarification. Hopefully, you can figure
different
it out.
range of human skin tones, dark skin to pale skin?
Yeah. So, I mean, starting with something like dark flesh for darker skin tones is really really nice. If you want something that's a little bit brighter and warmer, Shadow Flesh is really great. We also have advanced flesh tone, which is really nice. I like to use this as a base for like more olivey type skin tones. And then you can build them up with another variety of skin tones. We have
Hey, somebody likes
tan
us.
flesh, dark warm flesh,
Soulless? Thank you.
and these are obviously for more traditional human skin tones. You can even use like beige red if you want something that's going to be like really really cool. But we have the warm flesh and dark warm flesh mix. These will get you some really nice options. We have tan flesh as well, which is great. Olive flesh is another great color. So any of these will get you to a really good spot. Now, typically, this is for something that I would consider to be like a pretty simple, straightforward build up for skin tones. If you were to just go like dark flesh, shadow flesh, and a touch of like dark warm flesh or something like that. But if you want to have a lot more depth to the skin, that's when you start incorporating other colors that are not like more traditionally skin tone colors. Things like your blues and greens and things, yellows, things like that. The colors that kind of comprise the underneath parts of your skin, so your fat cells and your blood and veins and things like that. But I hope that that's a good starting point for you.
Caleb said, can you show how to use noosh to make streaks, like weathering on a vehicle or terrain? Or
Sure. I can do that.
Easy Lemon Squeezy said, gotcha, appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Here, I'll do it on this guy. He is perfectly nice and clean, so doing a little bit of noosh mix on this would be
What tomato?
nice.
He's asking for
Have
streaks
fun.
in particular, right?
Yeah. So I'm gonna do some streaks like underneath this chin coming down, or the kneecap coming down.
Didn't want you going off half cocked and
No,
do the whole guy.
I'm not doing the whole guy. I'm just doing a quick demo. I was gonna put Noosh on this guy anyways. Not the end of the world. Do some brown. Gordon, why are you struggling so hard today? Can I borrow your bottle of Noosh?
Gabe really said that Marine looks so clean. I'm feeling uncomfortable with putting streaks on him. It's like driving a brand new car out into the rain.
Exactly.
I mean, this guy was gonna be all dirty and stuff later on, anyways. But the plan was never to leave this guy in such pristine condition. Or I can even do it on the back too. Might actually be a better spot. So we got 6 parts Noosh, 2 parts Warm Flush. Oh, accidentally 3 parts. That's fine. It'll work. And we're gonna mix up this.
Papa Chicken, he probably did it on a stream.
The
Gold trim.
The gold trim? Yes, I did it on one of the streams last week. I want to say it was Tuesday or Wednesday.
Wednesday, because I was gone.
Yeah, it would have been Wednesday then. Yeah.
You can go back and watch it.
Yep. So we're gonna put some of this Noosh right here. I'm gonna clean off my brush. I'm gonna get a smaller brush.
Go over the ratio again of that mixture.
It's 2 to 1. I put 3 parts to 6 parts, which is 2 to 1 ratio. I'm gonna get a damp brush, and I'm gonna pull this paint down in streaks.
So, Senor Eosa? Eosa? It was not 6 to 1.
No,
It's
no.
3 to 1.
It was supposed to be 6 to 2, and then I was a goofball and I accidentally put another drop in. But this will work just as well. You can use a lot of different ratios when you're mixing and using Noosh. It depends on how much working time that you want versus how much color that you want in that particular area. If you want less color and you want longer working time, add more Noosh. Yeah, I'm just taking damp brush and I'm just pulling it down. Put some here. Do the same sort of thing. You're just pulling down through the droplet of Noosh mixture, down through the areas where you want that streak to be.
Like a champ.
It's that easy.
The more Noosh you add into the mix, the more time it'll give you to play with it.
Mhm.
So we always suggest going a little heavier with the mix initially as you're learning to use it. It won't alter anything. Obviously, it will thin opacity, but you're putting, for best results, you're putting an opaque paint into it anyway. so you shouldn't have to worry about it too much. I've done 10 to 1, and you can still get good results. You can, if you're not getting it to be as dark as you want, you can leave it on the model a little bit more. It'll soak in more, and then it'll still wipe off. So great tool for just goofing around, playing, finding what you like out of it.
Papa Chicken, there's no other product like it that really existed in the hobby world. So we had free reign. We could call it whatever we want, and it was a new way of washing, so we called it Noosh. New wash.
You can see I did it again on the shin. Right? Build it up in that little crevice and then pulling it down.
And normally with streaking grime I apply with airbrush. Is Noosh too thick? Seems chunky, but the brush application seems to work very well.
You can do either. You can airbrush it, absolutely.
It's meant for brush. I'm going to come out and say that while you can airbrush it, it is meant for brushing. It will not give you the same results if you atomize it. We've seen people airbrush with it, and it gives you a really cool effect, but I would suggest glazed wash medium would give you the same effect. Because you're really not getting a Noosh is meant to be a reductive painting technique, meaning that you put it on the model, take it off, move it around, right? Airbrushing, I can't see being used as a reductive tool to the efficiency that you really want. You're trying to airbrush and put color on the model and leave it there. And so glazed wash medium will have the same effect. It has a little bit of an extended dry time to it, but if what you're trying to do is airbrush a filter onto a model and then kind of move it around and remove it, then yeah, you could use Noosh for that. I can't in my head right now think of a situation where I would want to do that because the paint would be so thin and it cures very quickly when you airbrush. But try it. The nice thing with Noosh, like I said, play around with it. Find new things that we haven't even thought of. I'm constantly surprised at people poking up and saying, look what I did. And I'm like, what? That's awesome.
Goes back to the name. That nothing else like it. So people are out there discovering all kinds of things you can do. And the proper verbiage is to Noosh it, yes.
Just Noosh it. Putting all those under gross colors in there for that guy.
I'm doing highlights.
Oh, you're
What are
doing
you
all
talking
that stuff?
about? I'm using warm flesh right now, as a matter of fact. I used dark warm flesh, glazed it over to give my initial highlights going. Now warm flesh over the top of that.
Have a good night, Jade.
Good night.
Papa Chicken said, so the Noosh has a stronger impact if you leave it. Is it changing the paint beneath it, or is it still just a layer on top?
It's just a layer on top. Whatever color you put into it will start to filter, or you don't want to say stain, but that's usually the word that comes across. It will start to increase the opacity of that filter the longer you leave it, and then you can still wipe it off. But like on the Dreadnought that I did for the video going over doing it, right, I did black brown on this guy first, and I just would do like the torso and then wipe it off. And so the coloring underneath, right, on this guy was a lot brighter before I did that, and I'd let it sit, and then you'd get that, you know, grungy brown filter over it that makes it look like it's all been very, you know, out in the dirt blown environment, hadn't been cleaned in a long time, you know. So like your car will get a nice filter of dust and dirt on it the longer you go between washes, and eventually you'll be able to have that change the color of your car, right, until you wash it again. So the longer you leave it on there, the more effect it has on the color.
Vector, thank you for the sub, by the way. Sapo said, I think I saw the new Monument Company car, a plaid smart car.
Yeah.
Too much stuff for a smart car.
No. It's a Waymo automated driverless vehicle.
We got one of those.
I wish they'd let us advertise on those. We do one that said, "Do not ride in this car."
Do not ride in this car.
The entire fleet has been recalled, but yet you still see them driving around.
Wait,
Yeah,
have they
did-
really?
They issued a recall for the entire fleet, and yet they're all over the streets.
What the
In
heck?
fact,
I'm
would
sure it's
say
not for any. Well, it is for something actually
it
major.
was
It got in an
because something
accident.
hit a pole because one of the Waymos hit a pole in Phoenix.
That seems like a pretty important reason to.
Yeah, and I would say that I feel like I've seen more of them recently.
I saw one the other day, but I haven't seen a ton recently. But maybe they're just not operating in around here right now. So.
Oh, they're all over the place down
They're
here.
everywhere.
Not a fan. Drive your car. Pay attention.
Nothing wrong
Gotta
with
be a
driving your
grown-up.
car.
I don't feel like the way to make people better drivers is to have them not drive.
Same as it doesn't make us better drivers by having your car yell at you if you start to drift out of the lane. Like, you need to pay attention and control your car. I have very strong feelings.
Yep.
As you should. This is life or death, people.
Yeah. But how many more human drivers have hit poles? All right, that's not yeah. I will ask if Waymo driverless cars or any kind of driverless cars are abundant in your area. Teach me.
They can't even tell when they put traffic workers out.
Yeah.
Because that's not on their map. Sensitive subject right here. I feel like you just hold people accountable for their driving actions, and you get better drivers.
These are basically Ubers. There are 650 of them about in the Phoenix metro area.
Jaguars.
Way more than Google Street View cars.
California kicked them out, so they came here.
Self-driving is not a solved problem.
God, he's gross.
Yeah, and Google Street View cars are, I believe, driven by people. There are no drivers.
That's
in
pretty
these.
gross guy.
Pretty gross. I know, deadbeat. New concept.
These aren't Teslas. These are Waymo
Jaguars.
or Jaguars.
I haven't seen any Teslas.
Well, I think Tesla has a driverless function or a
I think he rolled
hands-off
that back.
function. Really?
think
Well, I
they
think,
rolled
but the
it
cars,
back.
I think that I think some cars have it still, don't they?
I don't think they have the full autonomous. They have the hands-free part.
Okay.
But they
That
rolled. They
still
had
is-
like the one where literally it would drive itself almost. But they had a series of bad wrecks, and I thought I saw Elon say they rolled that back. They may have then redone the software and put it back in. I'm not familiar.
First it's don't drink the paint, then it's paint isn't a cooking ingredient, then it's drive your car. All these rules, exactly. I know. That's why adulting is
Don't
very
eat paint.
difficult.
Drive your car.
Lots
Be
to keep track
responsible.
of.
Get off your phone.
Get a notebook.
Yes, please.
Write it all down.
Be responsible. Get off my phone. Those two are not mutually exclusive. None of the Asura eat paint. Correct. Can't chat no more because no phone. Jason says so. Well, are you driving?
I mean, if you're in your car, then bye.
If you're driving,
Hang up. No.
then yes.
Or
We are not
hang
the
up.
most important thing happening right now if
Yeah.
you're driving your car. Just saying it. We do have a lot of people that listen in their car without video, though.
Yeah, I know.
I meet people all the time when we're at shows, and they're like, I listen to you all the time. I was like, hopefully you watch, too. And they're like, well, I'm usually in my car. I'm like, oh, well, okay. I was like, the show's not near as fun if you're not watching what we're doing.
As long as they're not chatting, it's fine.
I would hope not. My goodness. Please do not chat and drive. We love you guys, but please don't chat and drive.
So telling you to drive is dangerous, basically. Okay. Don't paint and drive. We've gotten out of control
Maybe just
now.
drive. Let's just do one
I'm
thing.
just going to
Let's
use a
focus on the
blanket
driving.
statement and say, be smarter.
Be-
Make good decisions.
Be smarter.
Make good decisions. How about that? I did his hand, huh? We say some goofy stuff, so it's actually good car listening? Okay.
That I can believe.
Probably not wrong. Probably not wrong. You try to live up to the hype.
I have such a hard time. Like, that's one of my big problems with podcasts is that, especially the podcast I listen to where they talk about like animals, I want to see what they look like. I like to be able to Google them and see pictures. So I would have a hard time. But I also don't, I mean, I don't listen to audiobooks. I have a hard time just listening without seeing.
I don't know if I trained myself out of that, but I definitely, having spent a lot of time painting and watching listening to TV shows and movies and things.
Chlor89 said, would non-metallic gold show reflections like sky, earth, etc. if polished enough?
Yes. To some extent.
Yeah, you gotta remember, most metals will have their own infusion of color. Yellow
Yes.
metals will have less of a true sky reflection.
It won't reflect all the colors the same way that silver would.
Schmidt, that's exactly why you should do only one thing at a time. Jordan, can you show the airbrush clean you're doing?
Clean?
Like when you, between colors clean, not full tear down.
Oh, sure.
Nameless Brian said, headed out. Gonna go get my 05 Subaru and tell it to go pick up groceries and see what happens. Thanks
Yeah.
for the paint tips.
I
Yeah.
just
Let us know
envisioned
how it goes.
you standing right outside of your Subaru, looking down at it with your hands on your waist, going, "Go get the groceries," and your car not doing anything.
I mean, my dog can't even do that.
I need like a whole video.
like
I need a whole
kidding.
video of you conversing with your car, where it's like, "What do you mean you don't have a map?
But you mean I have to give you the map?
I got to give you directions."
Back to the non-metallic gold and reflections. If there's a blue object near it, would it be reflected green?
So that's a good question, right? And I don't have anything that's shiny gold here. You typically would wind up, or I typically would handle this by allowing the surface to take care of that for me. In the mid-tones is because on the brightest sections of non-metallic metal where the shine is, you're going to lose all color anyway, right? So, you've got a hot spot where you have the reflection of, say, the sun, if you're doing sky earth, the sun, and that's going to be white, right? And that's going to blow out all color until you start getting to your midtones. In your midtones, if you painted it, non-metallic gold, you've got a bright shine spot, because obviously it's going to be very, very reflective if it's actually reflecting color back. So it's going to have a bigger shine spot than not, right? The sun or the light in the environment is going to be such a punchy amount of reflection on there that there's not a lot of space for that. Like when you see people do this chrome that has sky earth and there's suns of blue and mountain range in the background, It's like the heat discoloration on the tips of the
Jordan,
exhaust, right? Because the
that
thing
by
they've
the camera.
forgotten is the fact that the
Oh,
light source that makes all of that visible would be so bright that you would not have much of that visible in the metal. Just period. So it's a weird deal because it's not how you would really see that. If I had mirror polished armor and walked outside in the Arizona afternoon, you would not see any blue. You would not see much of the color of the ground. Maybe more of the color of the ground because there's less reflection coming back up off the ground, light-wise. But you wouldn't see much blue, right? Because you'd be too blinded by the light of the sun reflecting off of it in the first place to see all those colors. But if you paint your gold non-metallic, you've got that really bright reflection spot in there that then goes bright, mid-tone, dark very quickly to pull off the reflective surface. Then in those mid-tones, you could glaze a little bit of blue or whatever sky color you want, very, very thin, and work it up, and let the model take care of what color it gives you. So we've already got gold, so whatever you've worked up your oranges, yellows, browns, whatever you've done your non-metallic gold with, that will interact with that very, very thin blue to give you the color you would expect, right? Because it's basically a yellow metal. So anything it reflects will, yes, be tinged by the color of the yellow, right? Although when you highly polish gold, right, it can look more silvery than not anyway, so. Yeah, a little bit of color could be okay. You do it in the dark reflection too, just around the perimeter of the dark reflection, kind of like a halo. You could add a little bit of color there too, but it's not something that I enjoy doing because it isn't indicative of how the world really works, right? Teach me these concepts take up way too much of your brain power and you never get the answer. Colored objects reflecting from colored surfaces and colored light shining onto colored surfaces. Worst of all, colored light reflecting off of a colored surface. Yeah, because a lot of it depends, right? Because if you've got enough light to see the color of gold, right? Or bad example because it wouldn't be the non-metallic, but if you're talking about colored light on a colored surface, right? Colored light, the frequency of colored light is always going to fight with white light, right? So when you have like a blue or a red light shining on something, the best way to pull that off is to put the model or the subject matter into a very dark space so that OSL really works. It's like trying to do plasma OSL on something that's intended that you've painted like it's outside. Like if I can see all the color and all the contrast on his ultramarine model, or like I don't have much that I've done OSL on recently down there.
Jordan, can
like
you
this,
read this
right?
too and make sure that
Yeah.
Right? We've got a little bit of warm glow from his mace head, right? And glow back up onto his face for the red light, right? But the way that I have all of this painted, the reality of it is you wouldn't have that much wash of the red light on his face, nor would you have this much glow down here, because the model is in some sort of a light where it allows me to see all of this other contrast and color, right? So we do this for a storytelling mechanism rather than a realistic mechanism. So make sure in your head you have that balance done right, because this is all storytelling. The light that makes you be able to see the colors of his armor and gives you this kind of reflection wouldn't allow this to even happen, right? Because this would have to be in darkness for this light source to outpower the sun or whatever is giving me the light that lets you see him all together. Had I wanted to really make this feel realistic, I would have painted him much darker without any reflection. And then, but that's not the model. The model isn't this glow spot. So you just make those story choices. That's why the Sky Earth non-metallic metal works, because it's something that puts the model into an environment that tells a story, not because that's how it would look. That makes sense? So when doing colored light, to bring this full circle, don't worry so much about it. The problem is just you're going to want to paint the model darker, right? If you're going to do more and more OSL that you really want to be punchy. Otherwise, it's going to look like you spilled fruit juice on the model or something like that. So it's always the give and take that we have to do.
Yeah, Mike. One of the problems is that paint tends to get trapped back behind that part of the brush, and without completely stripping it and scrubbing all that out, it's a good way of forcing that excess paint that doesn't want to leave easily back out.
Ben Cantor's Golden Demon Space Hulk diorama. From this last year? With all the green OSL? Is that the one I'm thinking of? That might not have been Ben. I don't remember. Pop Chicken. That was one of the first things that Jordan and I did. We had a painting competition where both of us painted Horus on stream. So we were at Adepticon. His first day of work basically was going to Adepticon.
That's true.
And at Adepticon they had this model, and we were like, oh yeah, we should get that and do a me versus you painting stream where we both, you know, do the same model and show our different kind of focus on painting and how the same exact model can look completely different when done by two different painters.
Yep.
So that's what we did.
Yep. Our capes are
The
completely
real
different.
winner of that competition, Horus.
Correct.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I still think we should do something similar again. I think that would be fun. I'll paint the whole model this time. I promise.
Blood Angels under green light. Okay, it is the one I was thinking of then. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Again, that's why when I do OSL, the first thing I use is transparent white to set the light on the model and to desaturate the color of whatever it is. Like Blood Angel Red, if I just put green OSL on top of it, I'm going to get a weird brownish light color. It's not going to make sense. You know, so take something like a white transparent and spray it with the airbrush or brush it on to give the sense of where the brightness of your light is going to go. And it acts as a placeholder that also makes the color punchier, right? So using white to build up the light on the model and then paint the color of the light over the top of that white. That's how you do that.
Yep.
And it's just being able to control how thin you put the white on to make sure that you get that feathering. You don't want a hard edge of where light color stops, because that's not how light works, right? It just, the further it goes, that frequency starts to, I'm going to say desaturate, wrong word, but to have the same, lower in intensity, right, over distance so that it doesn't have the same punch, right? And that's all based on the brightness of your light source. So if a gun's going off, you know, right here at arm's length, there's going to be a big flash that's going to light the whole model up if it's in complete darkness.
Here's
The
another
more
good
light
example.
you add into the environment, the less that happens, and the more that starts going away, right?
Here's a good example. The lightsaber is generating a ton of light. It's more bright towards his hands than it is going to be towards the rest of his body. Now, in this case, this is a good idea. The execution of this is not 100% correct based on where the positioning is, but this is the general idea of what we're talking about.
You hate GW fur texture. It's annoying and chunky. It can be. Jason can win by priming Jordan's model and pretending he forgot he reprimed it. Yes.
I would be legitimately
Same
upset.
model, but Baby J has to paint it 2 times.
I would be legitimately upset if that model got repainted or primed over.
I mean, on his Horus model, he stopped and restarted a bunch of stuff halfway through. His gold.
Yeah. I readjusted
The
gold.
mace. He painted the entire mace twice.
Yeah, I was not happy the first time I painted the mace.
So he's already done that.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. If you don't like it, repaint it.
Yeah.
Talk nerdy to me, Papa Chicken. But yeah, color light can throw you for a loop. That's why start from white, then you don't have to worry about it as much. Because paint, remember, is different than light in the way that colors interact.
Yeah.
And so by
different.
spraying paint on it is not like spraying colored light on it. So start from white, then put the color down, play with it from there. There's a lot of back and forth that happens there. You may do white, green light, glaze red back over the top, white, green light, you know, until you get it to where it feels good.
Game Delay said that's actually been a very healthy thing for me, seeing Baby J's confidence and comfort with repainting things.
Oh yeah, just attack it, man. It's like, if you don't like something, if you look at it and go, that's not
Yours.
quite working for me, you know, being able to go back and put some more color on it, change the color on it, is huge. Absolutely huge. It's just paint. One of the things we've always said, just paint, man.
How do you decide when you should restart rather than keep adjusting what you have?
That's a how long is a piece of string conversation, because he chooses to
Yeah.
restart very quickly if he doesn't like it, because that's his style. He's like, it's quicker for him to readjust from the beginning than to take what he has and alter it to be what he wants, because he sees the path differently than I do.
Yeah.
I never restart. I always alter it to be what I want.
Yeah.
So here's two artists painting at a very high level that both of us have totally different approaches, so our answers would be totally different. I think that's going to be a comfort level for you thing. If your approach is that your brain wraps itself around the finished product by looking at it from a starting point to an end point better, then repriming or going back to a base coat color and starting over could be a lot more expedient for you. It could help you speed the process up. For me, I don't think that way. For me, it's an ongoing journey. I'm like, like right now I look at this arm, and this arm is lacking a little bit of the yellow-green from the rest of it, right? I lost it. I desaturated it too much. I'm about to go back and add that in, but I wouldn't restart it, If I looked at his armor right now and said, I don't know if I'm super happy with it, it's very rare that I would just paint over the whole thing again. I would just find other colors to move it, because I don't go into a lot of projects with it's got to look like this in my mind.
I generally will figure out what I want that to be part of the way through the project. And if I am not at a point where I'm happy with the work that has been done to it, I'm not opposed to just restarting.
I think that Jason and Jordan are like the perfect examples of there's not
What
one,
not to do.
There's not one right way.
Well, yes and no.
Yeah, I mean, art is literally chaos, and that's why we will constantly tell you, never be ashamed of the way that you enjoy painting. Whatever gets you to the finish line and has you enjoy the finished product is the right way for you to paint.
Right.
Can you change that and put more nuance in it and grow your style beyond where you're at today? Of course. But don't ever be ashamed. If you come on here and you see us doing something that you never do, and you get similar results, don't ever think that you got to change what you're doing. Right? That goes not just for us, but any painter you see.
Yep.
There is no right way to art.
Yeah, when I was doing that canvas painting thing at my thing in San Diego,
The teacher tried to tell you.
She didn't tell me. I mean, she was a little judgy with mine. She's like, "Oh, I see you're going for more of a watercolor look," and I'm like, "Yep, that's what I wanted." But she kept walking around. There were 6 of us painting, and she kept focusing on one person and saying, "Oh, well, why did you do it this way? Maybe you should do it like this." And it bothered me so much because I'm like, this is just supposed to be a fun afternoon thing that we're doing with a lovely view and some cold drinks. I'm like, this is not
an art class.
There's
in
no
the
right or
traditional
wrong
sense.
here. So I kept saying to the person, I'm like, you know what, yours looks great, you just keep doing the way you're doing it.
Awesome.
It really bothered me so much. Like, that's not what this is for.
Yeah, exactly. And not everybody paints for the same reason. We've learned that over the years,
Yeah.
more so now than ever. Some people pick up the paintbrush to get away from the day. Some people pick up the paintbrush to try to be better than they were yesterday. Whatever your need for painting is, just paint.
Captain Mannerings has an answer to the how long is a piece of string question. It's 14.
No, incorrect. Incorrect. I used to get so frustrated with my dad. Be like, I'd ask a question. He'd be like, "How long's a piece of string?" Like, "Dad, I don't care about the damn piece of string."
That's so funny. And now you use the term.
Because it was so perfect.
Yep.
When it really got down to nuts and bolts, it was like, I get it. You're asking, maybe not the most efficient way to tell somebody they're asking a question that doesn't have an answer.
Omicron Samurai.
Omicron Samurai? Hello.
No way.
Long time no see.
Heck
How
yeah.
you been?
No way.
Or all the things.
Yeah.
Lots of
Been a minute.
Well, huzzah, huzzah.
You know, if you need to
I'll just
change
throw back my
undershading or
legs and
something, that's a
pollute
good
my
reason to
britches
start
with
over. If
delight.
you really screw up and end up with something like paint texture, that's a really good reason to. Well, those are physical problems, not subjective quality things. The undershading, though, I would argue, I can always change the shadow on any of this. I just altered the midtone on the arm to add more of the yellow-green back in without having to do anything to it. we could change. If I decided that I didn't really like the plum shadow there, I can always go back over it with something. But yeah, I'm more comfortable with starting from a place of this and making the model work. But that's, you know, that's me. You know, you may say, oh, you know what, the plum doesn't look good, and just paint it over because you're quicker that way, and that's fine. Nothing wrong with that at all. Do your thing.
British Panda used Jordan's blue jeans technique today, slightly different colors based on what I have, and it worked great.
Awesome. That is fan-freaking-tastic.
Yeah, it's hot again already, isn't it? Things aren't too bad. Hot again, so phone doesn't work on the mail truck on the afternoon.
Good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well.
We are doing
Same
well.
old thing.
Keeping busy over here.
Exactly, short username. I mean, you need to do it in a way that allows them the tools to get to the answer, but yes, I hear you. You used Baby J's blue jean technique today? Can you go back up? What did they say?
Said that it worked great.
Oh, good.
Said different colors based on what I have, but it worked great.
Awesome. Yeah, the shorts are never really about the color.
No.
You know, I mean, they are. That's a tough one. Because a lot of times in 20 seconds or whatever they are, you're not going to be able to do a whole lot of technique stuff. So, yes, they're about the colors, and the colors are going well together. But if you don't have those specific colors, they really show you how a dark, a mid-tone, and a light color will get you where you need to go, regardless of what those colors are.
Correct. And how simple mixing can take you to a really large depth of different finishes and looks that you may not have thought were possible prior. There you go.
It's 3:45.
What?
45.
Impossible.
Jen, what have you done with the time? Have you turned it forward?
Impossible.
Did somebody turn on daylight savings time?
If I had the ability to control the time, don't think I would turn it forward.
Yeah, I don't think...
Well, depends on what you're doing. Sometimes turning the chart forward might be a great idea. I've got to sit around and wait for stuff. Being able to just click a fast forward button sounds great. We're gonna have 2 big chaos nights. Holy cow. Deadbeat Artist, I found something I'm struggling with, and while I had seen a lot of reference before, now I can't find anything. A cold green gold. I usually see it done with lizardmen. You're gonna use a lot of like camo green type colors and yellows
What I'm about to do here.
and some browns. Yeah. Watch what Jason does.
I want my golds to be kind of a tarnish leaning to green. Exactly what I'm doing. I start with dark camo green. Then I'll move into, you guys have seen me do this a bunch of times. Dark camo or camo green, and then move into burnt orange. Then into yellow ochre. And then generally I'll either jump up to like olive flesh or something desaturated, but now with the bright pale yellow, I might do that.
That would be a good one.
Ren laid a model with wet paint on it onto a paper towel. Guess what happened?
Wet paint onto a paper towel. It took all the paint off?
Stuck to the paper towel.
Stuck to the paper towel, left a little texture from the paper towel.
Yeah.
Lots of possibilities, I'm sure. But I would hope that you're going to tell us nothing at all. It worked great. And he wasn't upset. towel stuck to the model. Now there's bits of paper towel on the model. We got it. Hear about happy accidents in art, and none of them have included dropping the model or getting paper towels stuck to it.
Yeah.
Probably not a happy accident.
Now the trick is to use that paper towel texture and do something fun with it. Treat it like a challenge. Somebody mentioned earlier, like if you have texture in the paint, you know, that's one where it's like strip and redo kind of, but it really is, those lessons are tough to learn, right? But once you have them happen once or twice, you're like, you start spending the amount of attention from primer all the way through to completion and realize how important it is to do so. If you expect a good outcome, invest in every step of producing that outcome. I'm not sure what happened here with this sculpt. Got like a piece of whatever this is that comes like right out of the belt here. not real sure what all that is. I'm just going with it, man. I'm just going with it.
I love when you have to like.
It makes me think like, are these, no, because that's still the belt. That's not like his skin. I was like, are they like scales growing out of him, or are they supposed to be part of the armor? I don't know.
I love when you have to play detective to figure out what part of the model is.
I'm like, I like it because you just get to make it your own. It's
Yeah.
like, well, I don't know what he wanted it to be, but here's what it's gonna be.
Like I'm pulling out a magnifying glass and everything to try and figure out what this little piece of whatever the heck is hanging on.
Yeah. Unfortunately, normally when I do that, I come back to it and it's like, oh, I get like, 75% done with the model. And I'm like, I get it now. I see what that was supposed to be. Dang it.
I have done that on numerous occasions.
Like, dang it.
That has happened
Why
to me.
couldn't that have just told me what it wanted to be?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Why did I have to wait so long?
Yeah, burnt orange. I know we just recently gave ourselves like full sets of paint, right?
We did. We did. It's probably. Wait, hold on.
Orange oxide.
Middle. A little bit back, one row. To your left, just a little bit.
He gets to keep his job another day.
Remember, you told me to put it back in whatever order I felt would be appropriate.
And I will never, ever in my entire life do that again.
Mm-hmm.
Worst decision ever. I'm going to mix the two colors together to get this really amazing, gross mud orangey here.
Jordan was told to go with his feelings, and Jordan's feelings don't care about Jason's facts.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on. Hold on.
Maybe the opposite true, or the other is true as well. Facts don't care about Jordan's feelings.
Oh.
So,
I don't think that's true.
maybe you guys have got this mixed up.
Don't. I care about Jason. There.
There's feelings,
Period.
and then there's Jordan's intuition about how paint colors should be put together.
I think my intuition's just fine.
Yeah, bottom right to top left. Makes perfect sense.
Hey, you know what? I know where all of my paints are all the time.
Nobody else does.
Well, that seems like people should be using my organization system more.
I know that was
I
where
don't
we
know
were
if
about
that's
to
the
go.
solution.
Other people have tried it, and they've been very happy with it so far.
Lies.
Ask Chuck. I believe Chuck
Lies.
is the one who adopted it and was very happy. Took him a minute to
Lies.
figure it out.
Bottom to top, right to left.
Chuck, don't support this.
Oh,
nonsense.
that part? Yeah, I'll admit that's a little weird. That part I will admit. The organizing it in skew order, that's smart.
Well, that's not what we're talking about.
I know, I forgot the fact that I do it backwards and upside down. It's
See what we have to deal with, Chad?
whoa, hold on. For me, it's just the correct way.
See what we have to deal with around here, Chad?
Let's see what I have to deal with all the time.
Well, they could be in the correct skew order, but you're starting from the bottom right.
Yes, 100%.
That's-
I do it weird.
I know, that's what T. Schmidt said. Aren't Jordans in reverse skew order? And I said, well, kind of, but they're in the correct
Yeah, to a normal
order
human being, they're
if you
they're
start
reversed.
backwards.
I am left-handed. Why I read it right to left, I don't know.
I don't know either.
I was
'cause
about
you
wondering
read
where you're
everything
going
else
with
left
this.
to right, just like the rest of us.
Yeah.
Your handedness doesn't change the reading direction.
No, it most certainly does not. Especially since I read in English,
Awesome,
which
Josh.
is left to right.
This is my favorite thing today in chat. Awesome Josh. Awesome Josh said, I placed either second or third place in a small painting competition, so I won $100 or $50 worth of Pro Acrylic paints. I don't know exactly.
Are they gonna tell you,
I
or
won
do you gotta
second or
just
third.
guess?
So I get either 100 or 50. The only thing I know I'm picking up is Noosh. What paints do you suggest I get?
Congrats, by the way. What paints do you
Depends
have?
on how much you have to
Do you have any of our stuff already?
All of it. That's not helpful, but is accurate.
The base set and expansion set 1 are the best places to start with the line, depending on how much you won. The base set's $100, so great place to start. If you already have our paints, then it's really just what projects are you working on.
You can mix and match. You have 8 or more single colors in your cart, or 8 or more individuals in your cart. They can be multiples of the same color. You get 10% off. They haven't officially announced the winners yet.
Oh yeah, these glasses look dope.
Awesome Josh has transparent white and black. Transparent white and black green. Right? Am I reading that right? Those two, transparent white, black green.
Yeah, then the base set
So
would be a great
the
place to
world
start.
is your oyster. You've got all kinds of options. But yeah, base set is
Because black green's not until like expansion set 1 or 3?
4.
4? Is it 4? Yeah.
Black green. Black green 3.
Houdini. That's not how that math works. But
I don't remember. How many colors of paint are not offered in sets? The 3 washes.
just the washes. That's it.
Everything
Everything
comes
else.
out in a set because as we release new colors, we do them in 9 or 12, 6, 9, or 12 colors. Don't ask why. And those are just not sets based around any color story. It's just, hey, this is the new
Release
stuff.
them.
That's why they're called expansions.
Except the transparent set. Well, those are the only ones that are labeled as transparents.
Yeah.
There are a couple others that are kind of transparent. And then metallic sets, there are 2 other metallics outside of the metallic set.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
One matte
Dark.
and one Adepticon.
Yeah.
Dark bronze.
Yep, dark
Magnesium.
bronze and the
Magnesium.
newest one.
Yeah.
So they're in sets, but they're not in the metallic set. Now, with that being said, there is a paint set called the Pro Acryl Starter Set. Those colors are in other sets. It's truly a starter. It's meant for someone who's new, wanting to try it, new to the line, doesn't have to be a new painter, but new to our products. It's our most popular colors and a few brushes. So it's truly a here's what you would need to get started painting. So there are duplicates in that one. It's the only one.
I'm just doing a quick glaze of yellow ochre. I did dark camel green, burnt orange, now a glaze of yellow ochre over all of that. Glazing the yellow towards the highlight, which is our right, as we're looking at him. This is just water on my brush, nothing fancy, no glaze wash medium or anything like that for this. Magnesium, great paint.
The glasses are projecting the light a little bit. Definitely wanted them to be punchy and reflective. And have that kind of, was it the ski goggle type effect to
He's
him?
got Oakleys.
Yeah, he's got some Oakleys on. Ooh, I should make a Oakley joke and put the, like, make a fake Oakley brand and put it on there. Like it? I like where we're going with it. Oakley Chokley. Vaporwave. I do like those colors.
Four o'clock.
It most certainly
Where does the
is.
time go?
I don't know. Maybe somebody eats it. Ghost Hunter, are you eating the time around here? You gonna go by too quickly? Or has Jabe gone and done something untoward to the space-time continuum? By the way, have you read anything good lately?
No.
You purposely staying away from books right now?
Yes. Very unhappy with my library right now.
What was the last one to... I remember you saying it.
I'm still trying to cobble my way through it. It's on a Stephen King kick, but I read my favorite books and Now I'm to the ones that I haven't really ever been able to read.
Oh, rough.
I'm not ready to like start in with the Dark Tower series again, so I'm not doing that. I did Salem's Lot, The Shining, Cujo.
And Salem's Lot's one of your favorites, right?
What's that?
Salem's Lot's one of your favorites.
Salem's Lot is by far, I think, by far my favorite King book. Yes.
One of these days I have to read it. And
Very, very good.
just so we can have conversations about it. With me being knowledgeable about the context of the book. The book series I started, it's turning out pretty good.
That's right. Said you were liking it.
Yeah, it does something that I really appreciate the more that I read novels, is making the how do I put this? Or how do I describe what this book does that I like? A good chunk of the book is largely devoted to building the narrative of the background of the main character.
Okay.
And
Narrative of the background. What do you mean? Like his upbringing, history?
yes, yeah, because the book series are written as like the tales of this character
Okay.
over a pretty long period of time.
Gotcha.
And it's set up from the beginning as like, this is a person who has done lots of significant things over the course of a long period of time and is a like prominent figure in the history books type deal.
Okay.
But it's narrated by him. That's him writing his memoir, basically.
First person?
Yeah, first person. So you get a lot of these really interesting bits in the middle of like, you'll be having the main character like sitting down having a dinner party with somebody else, and in the middle of like the conversation you'll get an anecdote from the character as the narrator telling you like, this person becomes a lot more important in the story later on.
Oh.
I didn't know that this person was as important as he ended up becoming, and I wish I had done things differently. Sort of
Interesting.
thing. So you get a lot of really cool, like, notes of that during the series, which is really cool.
You want to tell chat what it's called?
It's called the Sun Eater Cycle or something like that. I think that's the name of the series. The name of the book, which is the first one, is Empire's Silence, I think. Yes. I don't remember the name of the author, but I'm liking it a lot.
Good.
You will hate the character at the beginning of the series. He's a petulant young kid who doesn't know what the heck he's doing. Is Philip gone? He's still floating around. Did you see him when you were running over?
His office light was off.
That cheeky butthead.
Supposed to see you before he left.
He and I were gonna go to the gym, but we're not.
Unless
This
I didn't
always
see him.
happens.
I don't know.
This always happens.
He may have already packed up his stuff and is waiting for you somewhere else.
Oh no, he's gone. He's gone. I just glanced at my phone and he messaged to say that he was not going to be able to do it.
They do let you in the gym by yourself.
No, I know. And I will probably go. It's just that it's funny because this happens every single time. We're like, we're doing the gym today, and we're both like, yep, let's do it. And he's like, I forgot I have to do this thing. I was just like, okay,
Yeah, that Philip.
that's true. Well, Jen has put up some wonderful links.
Who was my favorite employee? Your behavior is raising questions, Philip.
Ah,
He's gone. We'll let him know tomorrow.
you know, hey, look,
Well, if he's your favorite employee, then how he treats Baby J shouldn't matter. Because Baby J is not your favorite employee.
That's true.
That hurts
That
my
is a
feelings.
good point.
No, it's not meant to hurt your feelings. It's meant to that if you're not his favorite, then what does he care?
True.
You could ask him, why am I not your favorite? I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but
You know
you
what?
can put him
I
on the
don't-
spot.
Excuse me. I don't have to be everybody's favorite. I'm okay not being people's favorite.
Some of us have standards, Jason. Let me find one of those people in chat so I can check with them.
Jeez. Thank you for hanging out, Awkwardish. You've all been wonderful today. Much more well behaved than I have seen in the past, which is always a delight. Although, frankly, misbehaving chat is also really entertaining. So
Monday hangover.
it's Monday hangover. They'll be back to their usual tomorrow.
Yeah. The
Okay.
weekend hangover.
You're
will be
Mike's
over.
favorite.
I'm Mike's favorite.
Yeah.
Mike, you're awesome.
I mean, I don't write the checks to you, deadbeat artists. You can like whoever you want, but thank you.
my
I'll take
favorite
it.
is Jen
I'll
because
take
she
what I can
writes
get.
the checks. Jen is also awesome. I don't have favorites. I just love all equally.
We all have favorites. It's fine.
Yeah, but I don't have to tell whom
No,
the
Exactly.
favorites are.
That's the thing. We all have them. Totally normal.
Thanks out.
All right. I wasn't sure if you were going to keep going or not. You were having a blast with this on Friday. So, but I will take us out. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Jen's put up a whole bunch of links for us to have you guys take a look at. We no longer have the giveaway link because that is over.
Didn't put
Those
that
were
one up.
pulled today.
Congratulations to our 5 winners.
Yes, thank you for everybody for participating.
Including
Congratulations.
T. Schmid and Brutal Burrito.
Brutal Burrito and
The
T.
others
Schmidt.
have used their real names and we don't know them yet.
Indeed. Go ahead and check out the monumenthobbies.com store link where you can find all the wonderful paints that Jason and I have been using on stream today. And also check out the FLGS link for you guys to find local stores to support as well. We always love having you guys support all the local game stores that we partner with. Make sure you check out our YouTube. You can find all the fantastic shorts we were talking about a little bit earlier on stream, as well as all of our long form video content that we have put up in the past. And then check out our Discord. We have, he put it in here somewhere, 4,424 amazing artists in the Discord.
No chance.
And one person who can't think of an outro.
Yeah, one person who can't think of an
so
outro.
good, Ghost Hunter. You're wonderful. Never change. Don't forget we stream 5 days a week. If you guys are new here and you are not currently following us, make sure you follow us so you can join in all the fun. We start from 2 p.m. We end at 4. Sometimes we go a little late, but generally 2 to 4. And we're going to find somebody to raid.
410.
Yeah, I know. It's 411, actually.
411.
We're going to find somebody to raid so you guys can enjoy the rest of your hobby night joyously. And we will see you on tomorrow.
Thanks, guys. Brent at the very end.
Brent,
Oh.
Take it
Hi.
easy, gang. We'll catch you back here tomorrow.
this outro is very good. Why, thank you.